Today we're gonna talk about a Scissor Seven character event never really made any appearances in the Scissor Seven series, but nonetheless, he still exists. The character that I'm referring to is none other than Butt Guy. So, if you only see the anime, you're probably wondering, Blazer, who is this Butt Guy that you're referring to? He never made any appearances in Scissor Seven. Like, he's not in any episodes at all. And then I would respond with that you're wrong, because he was in the season 1 ending of Scissor 7. Anyway, this video is mainly made to talk about his origins and past and whatever, so we can have a basic understanding of what his character is. Anyway, it did seem that Butt Guy was planned to be at least in season 1 of Scissor 7 anime, considering the fact that he made an appearance in the original Chinese trailer of Scissor 7. But his story and character is mainly explored in the manga, webtoon, comic book, graphic novel? Listen, I don't really know what it's called, but for the sake of not being confused throughout the video, let's just call it the Scissor 7 comic book series. I don't really know much about the Scissor 7 comic book in terms of when it was published, but it was created by Xiao Fenghe, the creator of Scissor 7, and I don't really know nothing else about it, except for the fact that during this time, the Scissor 7 franchise was going by the name Killer 7, but they later on changed it so it doesn't get confused for the video game Killer 7, if you guys know the video game. You know, it was created by Suda51. You guys play No More Heroes, right?
I know a lot of gamers out there don't have much patience. At least that's what Bishop, the dude at the video store, said. So I'm at the register, and then I realize I got no money.
Alright, I'm taking too much of your time now. Let's talk about the character Butt Guy. Butt Guy, whose original name was Dalu, is from a village somewhere in Chicken Island, and one day when he went out in order to find some herbs, he found a rare plant on the edge of a cliff, and one time he went to pick it, the cliff accidentally collapsed, falling him where he suffered major injuries. He probably would have died from his injury if he wasn't founded by the Miracle Doctor, another character from the Scissor 7 series. You probably know him as the guy who gives Cola her medication. The Miracle Doctor then diagnosed that his upper torso is badly damaged and needed immediate surgery, and he did what any doctor would do in this situation, amputating him and merging his head with his lower torso. I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure no one should be able to survive stuff like that. But anyway, he survived. How did he survive that? Sometime afterward, Dalu returned back to his village, but due to his new appearance, the villagers kind of freaked out and chased him out of their village afterwards. Talk about a warm welcome home, huh? Yeah, I know, I can be funny sometime. Some time has passed and Seven was doing his job as a barber until he was disturbed by Daibo, saying that he got an assassination mission for him to complete. You're an undercover assassin! Quit fooling around with your chi. This is your target. Go finish him off. This guy looks pretty tough. Soon afterward, Xiaofei grabbed Seven by the balls, and the two of them went off to find their target. After carefully inspecting the picture, Seven then realized that his target is nothing more than a pair of hairy legs. Daibo! You trying to screw with me or what? Every pig here only shows a pair of hairy legs. How am I supposed to find him? This was nothing more than a huge waste of time. I'm going back to sell beef stew. Huh? What the f***? Excuse me? You're calling me? And although Seven believed that his target doesn't exist, he was right before his very eyes. His target was none other than Dalu, aka Butt Guy. Seven then told Dalu that the villagers hired him to assassinate him, and it wasn't too long that the two of them now entered into a conflict. And if you know anything about the Scissor 7 franchise, is that Seven really sucks at his assassination mission, so it never really ended too well for him in this fight. After getting his butt handed to him, Seven then realized that he could use Daibo's latest invention, the Gaiba egg, and he used it to turn into a pair of sexy legs. Huh. Well, that's one way to distract him, I think. Dalu then saw Seven in disguise, but he didn't know that it was him, and he began to look at Seven even more out of curiosity, considering he was nothing more than a pair of legs.
Awesome! I finally found my own kind!
Not realizing that the sexy leg before him is Seven in disguise, Dalu began to cry tears of joy, thinking that he wasn't the only one in the situation that he's in. Dalu then hugged Seven and introduced himself, and Seven then introduced himself as Miss Wu, and soon afterwards the two of them began to watch the sunset together.
Looking at this beautiful scenery makes me want to sing a poem. The setting sun's endlessly endearing. The wife elopes with someone else. This is such a sad and lovely poem. I feel so touched.
As Dalu was about to confess his love to Miss Wu, Seven tried to kick him off the edge of the cliff, but it ended in total failure. Complete and utter failure. Seven then reverts back to his original form and then tried to do one last attack on Dalu, and Dalu counterattacked, throwing him off the edge of a cliff. And as Dalu watched Seven fall, he realized that he's truly all alone. And luckily for Seven, Xiaofei was just in time to catch him from falling to his death. And once again, him and Dalu enter into a fight. I guess this is the third time now. Round 3, I guess? Who knows, I'm not really keeping track of this anymore. And then the fight kinda ended after Seven got caught in a weird choking position by Dalu. And Dalu threatens to suffocate him using his butt and stuff. And Seven had to surrender. Alright, this fight just went on weird, alright? So Seven just surrendered and said he will listen to whatever problem Dalu is going through, because he doesn't want to die by getting choked by a butt. So after Dalu told Seven about his past, Seven decided to make a disguise for him. But Dalu got annoyed by each and every one of the disguises Seven tried on him and threatened him again to choke him with his butt. And then Daibo shows up.
Even if you choke him, it's all just futile. That's because humans are like that. They have a strong tendency to reject anything. Things that are different to them or far from their expectation. They are all rejected by the humans. Since childhood, they would always pick and bully the ones they considered different. The one that is fat, the one that is ugly, even the one that is dumb. As long as they are different, they will become rejects. And that is known as human nature. So I suggest you better go kill yourself.
And just like that, Dalu gave Daibo one of the heaviest kicked in Scissor 7 history. If the scene of 13 kicking 7 in the nuts never existed, this scene would probably be number 1. And after that, Dalu then threatens to kill 7 once again if he doesn't find a way to help him. And then afterwards, Daibo agreed to help him by using a guidebook known as Guide to Be a Poser. Daibo explains that humans have a tendency to worship superheroes, so basically his plan is to have 7 turn into a monster using the Gaiba egg, and Dalu pretends to save the village, and everyone will love him again, basically. Yeah, that's the plan. Afterwards, 7 turned into a giant ball sack and attacked the village. Out of all the monsters he could have turned into, he chose to turn into a giant ball sack. Why? Just why? Calling himself Mighty Legs, Dalu appeared to fight 7 in his monstrous form, but as soon as he landed one hit on him, something strange happened. 7 disappeared in a cloud of smoke. But out of the cloud of smoke emerges 7, punching and stabbing Dalu with his scissors. The confused Dalu then looks at 7 and asks him why, if he wasn't supposed to let him win and pretend that he's supposed to lose. 7 then told Dalu that if he wants to be a hero, he has to fight him with all his strength. 7 explained to Dalu that he was originally supposed to assassinate him, and if he doesn't fight him with his full strength, he will kill him. Dalu then cries and calls Seven a liar, and he also complains about how everyone treats him like a monster, but the only thing Seven does is prepare for his next attack. And using his chi-controlled scissors, Seven attacks Dalu once again, cutting his legs. Seven then mocks the injured Dalu, calling him weak and how he's a coward that deserves to die. Dalu then attacks Seven with his hairy leg tornado attack and tells Seven that he's not a coward. Seven smiled at how strong Dalu's conviction is until Dalu kicked him into Xiaofei and Daibo, sending them all flying. And after being victorious in a fight against him and Seven, the villagers then cheer for Dalu for saving their lives and protecting their village. And after Dalu realizes that he has his home back, he then thanks Miss Wu. The last time we saw Dalu was in episode 6 of season 1, where he was getting treated by the miracle doctor from what it seems the injuries that Seven gave him with his scissors. Or maybe he's finally gonna do some operations to get his body back. I don't really know. The way the comic is set up, it seems to be like some kind of a prequel of some kind. And the way it makes sense to me, it seems like takes place after episode 1 of the first season. So it takes place after episode 1 and before episode 2 of season 1. At least that's how it made sense to me, but I don't know. Unless Dalu's just a character that just doesn't exist at all in the Scissor Seven anime series and only exists in that one comic. But hey, maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll come back in season 5 or 6 or 7. Who knows? Who knows? That concludes the story of Dalu, aka Butt Guy. And, just be sure to like, subscribe, and comment so we can get my videos recommended in the YouTube algorithm and stuff. You all have a good day, and I'll probably make more Scissor 7 videos in the future. I do plan to talk about other characters in the future, but, you all have a good day for now. See ya.